to music that uplifts the soul. Follow Jescom PH on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Pagod ka na ba sa mga chismis? Fake news? Bad news? Good news naman! Isishare namin sa inyo ang good news. Samahan ang Jesuit Volunteers Philippines na maghatid sa inyo ng mga balita at kwentong totoo at may puso. Makinig sa mga istorya ng pagtutulungan, pagkakawang gawa, mga kwentong serbisyong kusang loob. KSKL. Share ko lang, Huwebes, alas 5 ng hapon, dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Share ko lang.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. The voice of W Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
Coming up next, ASPACes, Ateneo Parents in Action on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
They been behind every exam week, every thesis defense, and every milestone along the way. As they grow into thinkers, leaders, and changemakers, we are right there with them, listening, learning, and leading. This is your space, your voice, your story, where parenthood, purpose, and community come together on air. This is ASPACes, Ateneo Parents in Action. Listen in, laugh with us, and journey alongside fellow Ateneo parents as we share stories of service, solidarity, and the magic in everyday parenting. ASPACes, your story, your voice, your space. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Great afternoon, everyone. Welcome to ASPACes. This is episode 19 and of course, the 29th of September. One day na lang, tapos na ang September. How are you, my co-host?
Okay. A little damp from the sudden downpour, but otherwise, still good.
Yeah, that's right. Masarap naman kasi malamig, di ba? At least tipid sa
Yes.
kuryente. But no need to use the aircon. Good afternoon, everyone. We're also live on YouTube and of course on Zeno.fm. So I hope that you're all okay. Kung wala namang pupuntahan, just stay home. Dahil, syempre, mababasa kayo, di ba? Pag naulanan. At magkakasakit. Marami kasing may sakit ngayon. That's
Yes,
why
yes.
our special guest for today is a psychologist. Kasi kailangan natin yun, di ba? Sometimes kasi pag sobrang dami ng sakit, kung ano na iniisip. So I'd like to introduce to you our special guest for today from, of course, Ateneo de Manila University. He is the Director of the Office of Guidance and Counseling, Mr. Gary Faustino. Hi, sir. Welcome to the
good
show.
afternoon.
Hi po. Good
Thank
afternoon.
you.
How are you? Hindi ba kayo nahirapan pagpunta dito?
Well, pumunta ako maaga kasi ang lakas ng
Oh,
ulan
wow.
kanina. So
That's
medyo
great.
I was trying to be sure to avoid the traffic and also to avoid the rain.
That's right. Would you like to greet muna your fans and
More
everyone?
fans, wow. Well, I
Sa
hope
office.
the Office of Guidance and Counseling, if they're listening right now, and some people and somebody actually spread the news that
Yeah, that's really
that'll
good.
be on the station today. But that's okay.
Yeah, we're
So-
live on Facebook. Sana papanood nila kayo today.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's right. Pres Andrew, I know you've been friends with Sir Gary for a long time. So would you like to throw the first question to him?
Well, my first, when I first met Director Gary, there's a background, no? First met Director Gary. He was trying to skewer me with a javelin.
Oh,
But since that time, we've become and I've relied on him to, while I was in ASPAC, I relied on him to give me a good idea of what usually ails the student body.
right.
When my son first came in, I think it was alcoholism, and then there were some other issues later. As the years went on, there were other issues to tackle, mental health and all that. So I guess the first thing I would like to ask Director Gary is, what's it like now with the student body of the Ateneo College?
Well, for one thing, if you're talking about mental health, I think it's a growing concern. And over the years, when I joined the office, yes, we have had a number of incidents already. And that's the reason, I guess, that early as 2017, the university tried to pull its resources together, consulted the different basic units, including the basic ed units and also the professional schools, and came out with a manual of protocols and policies on mental health. So that's how serious it was. We were preparing. Even at that time, the mental health wasn't a law yet.
Yes.
It was about to be passed. So Ateneo was quite ahead.
Wow.
And so we started planning all these things. We tried to put down the protocols and put it in black and white and get everyone to pitch in. Then the lockdown came. So that's a different story. So since then, even before the lockdown, it was a concern already. But especially when the lockdown came, Of course, you get isolated at home.
It's a different,
no one to talk to. You don't know what's happening outside. That even raised the concerns even more.
Yes.
But even after, meron pa rin. So,
Yeah.
mas tumataas pa.
That's really true. I think that's really common, especially sa mga universities. But ako naman, my question is more about you. What made you, or can you share with us what inspired you to become a psychologist?
Psychologist.
Kasi, yeah,
Well, it's been actually ang background ko. My professors in psychology would actually tease me because I shifted from left brain to right brain. Left brain
okay.
because my undergrad is industrial engineering.
Oh, okay.
And then I shifted to right brain, which is psych. No,
Psych,
but a whole long story. But anyway, I spent 20 years in a charismatic group called Couples for Christ.
Yeah.
And so with that, there was a point that I realized I cannot help people by just simply saying to them, I'll pray for you. There has to be some sort of practical thing for them to sort out their way of thinking or way of behaving. And I thought psychology was it. And it just happens that there was an in-house training at that time. So I joined the in-house training, and my mentor or tormentor actually talked to me. I think you should get your MA in psych because we're about to get into licensing. And so you cannot go counseling without a license. So that made me go back to school here in the Ateneo, and I took my MA.
Oh, okay. So what area po of psychology did you specialize?
It's counseling psychology primarily.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
And there are always misconceptions kasi about between psychologists and therapists naman. Ano po ba yung common misconceptions?
I think the broader term is psychologist. So when you're a
Okay.
psychologist, you can go into education, you can go into IO, industrial organization.
Okay.
You can go into therapy.
Therapy.
You can go into simple counseling, not really psychotherapy. You can go clinical. So there are variations. There's even forensic psychology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
you watch movies ng CIS, yung mga ganon.
Ganon.
So, maraming aspects. So you can go into, in my case, because it's something that is useful for me for guiding people, then I chose that one, counseling.
Oh, okay. That's why you're into it. Parang di ko ma-imagine sarili ko na, doing counseling. Parang feeling ko ako yung mababaliw,
Oh, marami. Like, I have friends who ask me, why did you get into this?
Yeah.
Because you're really listening to people's problems. So it can be stressful at times, especially when you hyper-empathize, you put yourself into their shoes.
That's right.
Yeah, so we need to be able to take care of ourselves as well.
So why nga ba? What's the reason behind that you got into it? I mean, among other, specializations of psychology. May personal reasons po ba, Sir Gary?
I guess, well, for one thing, in community before, I was a person that people go to. They find me easy to talk with. So
Okay.
that's something that you actually discern over time. And it seems that if I'm a go-to person, people feel comfortable with me, then they will open up. And I think I should be able to actually help them through. Not really solve their problems, but help them see. So, ganon.
Wow, okay. So maybe you, Sandra, going back to that question.
As fondly known as Papa Bear.
Papa Bear.
some
Why
years
is that
back.
so?
That was in the ministry in Couples for Christ. We had a sub-ministry called Singles for Christ.
Okay.
So in singles, the couples were taking the lead, primarily because there was a bias that we will sort of persuade them to get married. So there was a bias then. So we took over the singles and instructed them and guided them. So that's where I got the inspiration, because the singles would really approach. And they seek the wisdom of the older guys. And I said, sometimes the problems are complicated. So at least at that time, I didn't know how to deal with it. And so I said to myself, I need some training. And that's when counseling psychology came in.
Wow, okay. That's quite interesting. Dugtong natin dun sa question kanina ni Press Andrew about the mental health, di ba? You were asking about that a while ago. Or you were talking about mental health
yeah,
a
he was
while
talking
ago.
about mental health.
How can families support a loved one, especially those students or families who are going through a mental health challenge, Sir Gary?
I think you'd have to consider where the student, let's call, for convenience, let's call the child of the family or the parents, student, at what level they are. So if they are in basic ed, which are grade school, high school, and in the development, you would have to be very sensitive as to the development needs of the person. So if if the person is in grade school, they're kind of like sponges. So the parenting style tells on them, and if the parenting style is so perfectionist in nature, or very controlling, or very critical, it spells on the child not only at that time, but all the way to college, even if you sort of relent in high school. So you sort of push the child. The goal is noble, no? You want your son or daughter to achieve.
Right.
Pero pagdating ng high school, it doesn't go away just like that. So they sort of possess it in their unconscious, that it tells them, it's almost like having your mother or father speak to you as you are going through your exams, through your grades, and all that. So we have had a lot of experiences of those.
So how do you handle such challenges or such cases? How are you able to help, especially po the child?
Well, my area of influence is actually the college.
Yeah.
So we treat them as adults. So when people enter college, they're 18 and above. So when you deal with them as adults, you can no longer treat them like high school students. In high school, and that's why there's the stigma also in all schools for that matter, because in basic ed, because you're underage, you're a minor, once you go to the Office of Guidance and Counseling, your parents will know. And that's by law. I mean, you're a minor, so everything that happens to you, your parents ought to know. But when you reach college, you are a young adult. And so we in the guidance office, we treat them as adults. Whatever is discussed in the counseling session stays in the counseling session. Your parents will know, unless there's a risk to you of self-harm or maybe, harm to others.
Yeah.
So that's when we breach confidentiality. So what we're trying to do is also be sensitive to the development stage. And already they're young adults, so we treat them as such. So you can't do that in basic ed, for obvious reasons. Yeah. So, so the treatment will be different.
Okay. And my follow-up question for that, what will be your advice for parents raising children or kids in today's fast-paced and digital world, especially yung mga iba? Almost all babad talaga sa gadgets, diba?
By the way, so I have 5 children.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow, but you look so relaxed.
Wow, okay. No, should I feel good about that? No, anyway. So the other one is, I have 4 grandchildren.
Wow.
So I watch them. I have my own laboratory at when they come to the house for Sundays. Now we have Sunday dinner, and then I watch how they develop. And my eldest, so she has a daughter of 6 years of age right now. She controls the gadgets.
Okay.
So maximum of 2 hours per day.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay.
Sure. So, and I've seen parents who actually, it's very easy, very tempting to just give a cell phone to you so you get entertained and you keep quiet.
Yeah.
So no more problem to me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we are very social beings. No?
Yeah.
So we need to interact with each other. And parents do have a crucial role in the formation of children from the very start to well, depending again on the development, they lose that kind of attachment all over time, seemingly. So, very close, say, attachment in infancy, and then close, say, a little, my metaphor is a kite. So you sort of let go a little bit as they go to grade school, high school, even more. And in college, it's almost as if they're flying alone, but they're still connected to you. Okay, so now, so how does that apply in practical terms? When you're in college, conversation should continue between the parents and the children. And the conversation should be adult to adult. No longer adult and the 12-year-old. And that happens to us. I remember my mother would always say, "Oh, Gary, do you have a, what do you call this? Do you have a towel for your back?" And, "Ma, I'm married already." I would tell her. But yeah, there's this paradigm that we never grow up from the 12 years old that we were. So it's important for the parents to see that it's a growing age, maturing age, and also consider that the youth of today have access to information much, much broader, much, much more extensive than we ever had.
Right.
Correct.
So they're smart and well informed. So we need to respect that. And thus the mature transactions, very important. Now when you talk down, there is that tendency to control. There's that tendency to be critical. There's a tendency to put down the person. And when that happens, no, you don't understand me, the person clamps up. And then you lose your communication.
Okay. Wow. Parang ang hirap no. I mean, I believe it's a very difficult profession, psychology. Kasi you're dealing with humans, di ba? Their emotions, lahat, anxiety, stress, everything, especially sa university. So what are the common cases po here in Ateneo? In terms of, syempre, yung mga cases na pupunta sa inyo to ask for whatever problems that they're encountering.
All sorts of cases, but the more prevalent cases would be depression.
Depression. Oh, okay.
And neurodivergence.
What's that? Would you like to expand?
Neurodivergence is a more politically correct name or label for students or people who may have autism or ADHD or dyslexia. So all these under that umbrella. So I don't know how research explains it now, but for one thing, over the years, what used to be unique instances of, say, autism, so you have your regular depressive students now. But once in a while, you get someone who has autism in the spectrum or ADHD. And then later on, there are more of them. So I don't know if it's a growing number or we're beginning to identify what used to be, ordinary.
Yeah.
Well, so because we recognize now how they behave, how they relate, how they miss the cues, the emotional cues and the social cues, then we can engage them. Now, the problem is a good number of them, if you have cases, say 200, not all of them are diagnosed.
Yes.
And some parents are in denial.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you had 200, say 160 would be diagnosed. So as you know, we're not allowed to actually deny anyone entry into the university for mental health reasons. That's by law.
All right.
Okay. Once you enter, it would be good to declare if you have one, if you have a concern. And that's why there's a screening process wherein you're requested to declare something so that we can assist you all your 4 years. Unfortunately, not all of them. One is they're afraid that they may be judged by the professors when they do declare something like that. Others simply, I'll treat myself as any other person. Now, that becomes a problem when things get tight
Right.
and it tells on them, and then the professor gets surprised. Okay, so we sort of, now that's a concern. So when we screen, we do want you to be able to declare to us, or in the process of actually interviews or for off-campus clearances and JTAs and what have you, somehow we will find out, and we are hoping that the parents will be honest also if there is something wrong with their and declare it to us. No? So that would be a psychiatric certificate, medical certificate that there's a diagnosis.
So for those cases, Sir Gary, you reach out now to the parents, or how is that?
We request the student. I think you may have to visit the psychiatrist, and we need the certification because your teachers have complained. We have this 1, 2, 3, 4 professors reporting you, and because of this kind of behavior. So, but we don't have anything on paper.
Okay.
So we cannot officially say whether you do have. So get the diagnosis, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. So, like, do you give them deadline? Like, okay, if you do not have that certificate, you're not able to, attend your classes?
Yeah, the attention will the cuts, like, for example, for absences, it's maximum of 6. Well, if you, because of your mental health concerns, you cut more than 6, then you start to have problems.
Yeah.
Or if you are not able to take the exam because you were going through something.
Yeah.
Tapos you couldn't explain it, and even if you explain it, the teacher has to have it vetted with us. And sabihin mo, I went through a mental meltdown last night. Okay, did you see OGC? No. So I wouldn't be able to. I'm a teacher in math. How would I be able to know? So you'd have to go to the OGC.
Wow, okay. Ang hirap pala, no? What about other cases like stress and anxiety or difficulty adjusting to college, career uncertainty, academic misconduct, or coping with grief or loss? Do you also get those
yes,
cases?
all of them. But of course, grief and loss would be probably below in terms of frequency.
Okay.
Yeah, not too many.
Not that much.
Knock on wood,
Yeah.
So you have a loss of someone, a loved one. Anxiety is high.
That's high.
Yes.
Okay. What exactly po the common complaint for anxiety? Like afraid because of their grades or expectation ng parents? Ano po yung pinaka-common?
Usually the anxiety, one theory would explain it this way. If you have reality, and then right beside it would be your ideal, the gap is your anxiety.
Okay. All right.
So if you have your reality, my grades are C+. And your ideal, and who sets the ideals? If it's you, you can adjust it. That's how I would tell the student.
Right.
Put it down to C+, or maybe even B. But if the ideal is being brought in by the parents, it has to be A. Then the anxiety is large once you get a C+. I will tell you, as I used to teach Psych 101, that's psychology, introduction to psychology. Usually in midterms, I would lay out the grades so that they can check where they are as far as, in the middle of the semester, what their grades are. And there's this one student I had many years ago. She looked at the grades, and then her tears started to flow. What did you get? I told her, B+. Oh my gosh, I would celebrate. I'd treat you to a buffet with B+. And she said, my family is an A family.
Oh my God.
So that's where the anxiety is coming from.
Shucks. Okay.
So, and there's always this equation, and I hope a lot of parents are listening. Maybe you ought to ask. Follow an equation, a simple equation wherein self-worth is equal to accomplishment.
Right.
I ask my students, is that true? Yes. So if I cross out accomplishment, your self-worth is zero. They have a long think about that, but they could not find anything else to add to accomplishment. They're so into accomplishment that anything beyond that, they're not. What about plus you're a child of God, plus you're kind, plus you are very friendly, you're an athlete, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Understand? It's accomplishment. So you erase accomplishment, self-worth goes. So that's something that in the discussion, adult to adult discussion, how do you see yourself? That's where you get it. And it's not to put blame on anyone because we never really got parenting 101. None of us, no. So it's a difficult thing, but it's reversible. I mean, kindness and compassion are things that actually can be applied. You don't even have to, of course, in extreme cases, you would need a therapist. But if your son or daughter is still at that point wherein you can still pull the airplane up, so to speak, because once you take a tailspin, mahirap iakyat yun.
Okay. Do you also get cases for career uncertainty? Like, naka-enroll na nga sila, pero syempre parang, sir, hindi talaga ako sure kasi parents ko po ang nagsabi that I should take this. Sometimes even an unwritten understanding. Like, for example, my parents are both doctors, so I have to be a doctor. Yeah.
Or they're engineers or accountants, I have to be.
Right.
It lays undue pressure on the student. Or sometimes it's said, no, you have to be this.
Yeah.
You have to go to the Ateneo. You cannot go to UP. So something like that, no? So there's but so because of that, they don't enjoy their college. They're not in the course that they really want. Some of them go to art, some want to engineering or whatever they want to go into.
Yeah.
So they're missing out in that regard. Now, that's one thing. Another is, and I think Andrew and I discussed it, that there's this fear of graduating. Strange.
Talaga? Why is that
But
so?
we were discussing and I said, it's the same, we felt that too, that we're not really so sure whether we can meet the expectations of the outside world.
Oh.
But, and I would tell my students, when you go out there, they will train you. What is important is you learn the skills of critical thinking, so and all, analysis and all that, no, and where to look and that, no, in this college. And then, when you go out, they will train you for the purpose that they see deem fit. And for the job, specific yon. Then that's the only time they get reassured. Otherwise, they wouldn't know. And also, because of the way things are today, there are so many choices.
Right, exactly. That's why the students really need guidance, diba? Or at least let them choose, diba? That's what I did with my kids. Kasi ayoko mangyari sa kanila what happened to me. Because my dad just enrolled me computer engineering, which I didn't like. Sorry pa. But I had to finish it kasi otherwise yari ako. But what about you, Pres Andrew? Were you able to take the course that you really wanted?
I started out with management engineering and then shifted to economics honors.
Okay.
And it has served me well. It helps me understand the world today, especially today.
Right.
I don't think anything happens without the economics of it. Whether you're working, you're going to market, it all it explains everything. So it helps me understand the world better.
Oh, that's good.
It helps kasi the individual to choose, to first and foremost find themselves if they choose their own.
Yes.
So
that's
they
true.
clarify their own, for lack of better terms, movements inside to determine where they're drawn to.
Yeah.
And each I would say when I talk to parents every time, that my own children had different careers because each of them, all 5 of them, had different personalities.
That's right.
So my eldest is management engineering. My second is an architect. My third is a banker. My fourth is a medical doctor. My fifth is a fashion designer.
Wow. All industries halos.
Diba?
Wow.
Parang ano yun. And
nice.
I try to tell them. That's the, because you just listen and allow them to make their mistakes because you cannot be around all the time.
That's right. That's true.
So ganun yung
That's good. You're a very supportive parent. Pero back in the day, during your times, how often did you visit guidance counsel? Kasi di ba?
Hardly.
Well, if you wanted to get out of class, go to the guidance.
Talaga? And what was your excuse noon to go to the guidance counsel?
Yung for career, for ano.
Okay.
At saka at that time, ang guidance namin were priests, Jesuits.
Oh, mga priests. Okay.
Who
So, were they
like,
nicer?
Smoke like chimneys and drink like fish. Very welcome sa sa students yun.
Oh, what about you, Sir Gary? What was your experience back in the day? How often did you
We
visit
never
the guidance?
No,
Talaga?
we never went. Even in basic ed, we never went. As he was saying, they were priests, as guidance counselors. But I went to UP for college, so walang guidance. Bahala ka sa buhay mo. Bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Okay. Pero yung common misconception kasi, especially for grade school and high school, pag nakapunta ng guidance, ibig sabihin may kasalanan, di ba? So,
Yun, sa basic ed, ganon.
Oo, ganon talaga.
Magkakakibat ang guidance at discipline.
Yeah.
That's why they don't want to go to the
That's
guidance
right.
office.
Correct. But in college, kahit ano concern.
Hiwalay yun. Hiwalay yun.
Okay.
And that's why we don't want to do anything. And pardon to my colleagues, I always tell them, please do not imply any association to the guidance office. I'm talking about the Office of Student Discipline. If they find out that the two offices are connected, they will not go to us.
Oh, what do you mean?
Meaning, if there's an exchange of information, for example,
Okay.
then they will not go to us. That's a problem.
Okay.
So you cannot do that. So when the Office of Student Discipline functions and for disciplinary cases, that's independent of us. In our case, when you go to us, we just take care of you.
Treat them as
we take care of you.
So you don't send those students now dapat for disciplinary action sa students.
No, not at all. You can tell us the most appalling of all behaviors you can think of, and we will not say anything.
Okay.
That's the adult. No judgment.
But so far, sir, for all those common cases or syempre, mga cases that you handled, that you had, almost all of them ba were resolved, or do they go back like every now and then kasi hindi talaga naaayos their case?
Wow, then it varies from person to person. Some people in 1, 3, 2, or 3, 4 sessions, their concerns are solved. There are those who are in for long-term therapy, which will take 1 year.
Okay.
So it depends. If it is deep-seated, and usually the gauge for that is someone who's able to control himself, his faculties, will be the one who can shorten the time period.
Okay,
So sometimes just being able to ventilate is enough.
Right.
For some, okay. So that's short-term therapy. But for the deep-seated ones, especially if your body chemistry has already changed, you might need medications. That's where psychiatry comes in.
Okay, but do we have psychiatrists
No,
here?
we don't have. We have one who's on standby, but you still have to make an appointment sa ISO, sa Health Dev.
Okay.
So there's one there.
So, do you also do therapy? Kasi kanina nga you mentioned that into counseling. But what about therapy? Like, kumbaga, pwede
Okay.
naman, like, kayo na mismo.
kami rin, okay, half of the team, kasi there are 14 counselors
Ah, wow. Okay.
So,
14.
14.
Okay.
So the 14, half of it would be registered guidance counselors. They're more on the eduk side, and then seven would be around psychologists.
Okay.
Okay. So the psychologists are the one who actually do long-term therapy. But we refrain from doing so because you get committed,
Oh, yes. Okay.
okay, to a long period of time. So if
Ako
we're
committed na.
Hindi naman. But we're committed to take care of you for 4 years, no? If you're, or
Right.
even beyond, no? I mean, 50 and all. But kasi a long-term therapy would be more than 5 sessions. Or even 10. We can extend up to 10. When it's already 10, I think you're better off with someone outside. So we refer you to an external service provider.
Okay.
If we detect that you need a psychiatrist, then again, that's a referral outside. For those of us who may not have as much heavy workload, then we can attend to you as much as we can for the time being, for as long as there are no other students that need help. So that's the balancing act we do. But as a matter of protocol, if you're going to exceed 10 ng tansya nung counselor, we will refer you outside.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So,
Di ba, when I was reading about it, Ateneo is blessed because it has
What?
several
dito, offices, yeah.
one of the campuses that have, I think, 2 or 3
yes.
avenues more for, one would be yung kay...
So you have Bulatao, Bulatao Psych Center. That's one. When I say refer out, that will be outside of guidance office.
Yeah.
So Bulatao, Emmaus, and also Cefam.
Cefam.
Yeah. So there are 3. And of course, we have our list of more or less good standing psychiatrists and psychologists and psych centers that we refer our students to.
That's really good. And that, I believe the students are very lucky.
So yeah, they've got being in the Ateneo is you don't. It's not enough that you have access to the guidance and testing, but they also can refer you to structures inside the campus which you can avail of,
Yeah.
which is good. Na? Parang immediate, it can adjust.
So the strategy is really, for one thing nga pala, there's a dearth of mental health professionals in this country. So the ratio, I was told from Doc Shaw, for every 100,000 Filipinos, you have 1 psychologist.
What?
For every 100,000 Filipinos, you have 0.4 psychiatrists.
Wow. Oh my
So
goodness.
it's really bad. And most of the professionals are here in Quezon City. Okay, so what do we do? Our own framework, at least in OGC, is primary, secondary, tertiary care. The secondary care would be the counselors who are licensed. So that's
Okay.
very specific. There is a concern. It's probably something that's been recurring, and that's the time that you refer to us, or there's a risk. And then tertiary would be the psychiatrist and psychotherapist. What we want to emphasize is the primary care. And primary care would mean peers, faculty, parents, all the stakeholders who can create an environment that the student will not move up to the second level. So that's a preventive kind of care. For the college, what we're trying to do is to set up groups, support groups. That's the idea of the term or the coin of the program MATES, M-A-T-E-S, no? And some years back, we were into the peer group thing. So we were trying to put it together.
But other than that, but there are for the time that I have known you, you have begun several programs to help with the
Yes.
student body.
Yeah.
We were talking about the dogs kanina.
Yeah, the dogs.
Right.
Well, to break the stigma. And so people, because of the basic ed stigma, why should I go to the, And I think the presence of the dogs broke the sort of image that the guidance office can be friendly.
Oh, that's
So the introduction of the dogs, the pets, into animal-assisted activities called pause and recharge.
right.
So they can go there, have fun with it, just de-stress. And that allows them to relax a bit. It's a bestseller as far as our programs are concerned. And
good.
it has changed. So we're more approachable than before. That
That's
changed
really
it.
good. Amazing. Thank you very much, Sir Gary, for all your advice and for sharing insights about the OGC or the Office of Guidance Counseling. For final message, what's your advice to every students out there, and of course the parents?
Okay. Well, for the students, I'd like to address you first and foremost that we continue to reach out to you. Sometimes it may appear as if you're invited, that there's something wrong with you. Not at all. We're here to help to create a safe space for you to actually ventilate, see things clearly, and be able to talk to someone on an adult-to-adult basis if, for example, the home may not be as suitable for such discussions and you're sensitive and all. So we remain open, the doors are open, and if not on a one-to-one basis, you join the programs. For the parents, there is hope in the world, even if you have had mistakes before and the parenting style that you may have used was your own parents' style, which to you may have worked, and maybe because of the environment today, the things that have changed over the years, you may not find it as applicable. But there's nothing that will hold two human beings who are sincerely trying to get in touch with each other and to bond with each other. And that's what I'm hoping that we can get into with ASPAC, maybe later, I don't know. And into other things, through the groups that we've tried to establish over time. So if you do also need some assistance, we can probably give you a word or two. You just visit us in the office.
Thank you very much once again, Sir Gary. Thank you so much and hope to see you again here on the show. Maraming salamat
You're welcome.
po.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our other guest is here already. Thank you so much for joining us today. The CEO of Spreadily Spreads. Where are your spreads, Nico? Yes. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. And also, he is a multi-awarded founder and entrepreneur, a Mass Challenge 2022 winner of Israel, and a Westerwell Foundation Youth Program winner in 2024. Let's welcome on the show, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nico Luciano. Hi, Nico.
Thank you so much, Gail. Hello. I hope everybody can hear me. And thank you for having me on your show. It's been a while that I've seen you since the last time we did a collaboration.
I think it was July, right?
It was June. I think it was June.
Oh my God.
Because I think July I went away.
Right.
And then I went back again. So yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I have some spreads for you.
Yay! We just need to buy pandesal.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so my first question would be, what makes your food company stand out in such a competitive industry? We're talking about the Spreadily Spreads. We want to see sana the samples, but I think you left it in the car.
Yeah.
Sige lang. Oo.
Yeah, so I think the I don't want to say really stand out, but we were trying to really create a niche out of the noise and chaos of the food industry.
Right.
So Spreadily Spreads was actually created based on inspiration of the nostalgia and the flavor that we had when we were kids. It's like more of a homey flavor.
Right.
So the one of the best sellers that we have was the dulce de leche.
Yeah, that's
so
my
when I was a
favorite too.
kid, my mom used to create such a lovely dulce candies that we sell in school.
Okay.
And so now growing up, that's something I've really missed a lot. And one of the things I do, it's because I have a background in culinary. I love to tinker a lot of ideas in my own kitchen. So yeah, and and how it really what we're trying to find a niche in our own in the industry of the food. So it's more of trying to appeal to the nostalgic flavor of your youth. But because also I'm very, very healthy conscious, so I made the formulation of the spreads a little bit less sugar because my mom loves sugar. So the formulation is now less sugar and also appealing to the healthier side of the spreads.
Wow.
And we now created at least 12 different flavor profiles.
Yeah.
So it's a Filipino company that we're trying to recreate the scene in the spreads industry, because a lot of spreads that you'd see, there's a lot of preservatives.
Yeah,
And
I believe
with our spreads, we tend to really we try to formulate it in a way where there's less emulsified oils, less sugar, and focus on the more raw products or the raw materials. Like for peanut butter, our peanut butter is 100% peanut butter. We don't put additional oils because in a lot of formulations that you can see in the market, they might be way cheaper, but they're being emulsified oils. It's a combination of different oils that made the spread very unhealthy.
Right.
So I think that's also made us stand out from the rest of the crowd. We focus on the healthier version, plus the homey side of the spreads.
Yeah, it's really good. Sir Gary, you should try, and you should wait kasi
Yeah.
the spreads of Nico is really good. It's so
Are
actually
you trying to say
addicting.
si
Yeah, he
Director
has-
Gary is unhealthy?
No, I'm just trying to tell him to wait so
I'll be
he
healthy
could
this
try. Kasi I
afternoon,
believe Nico left it in the car. Kasi
Yeah.
later pa he's gonna give us some samples.
Dalawa na tayo doon.
Yeah. You are a multi-awarded founder entrepreneur, and Mass Challenge 2022 winner Israel, and the other one is Westerwell Foundation Youth Program winner in 2024.
Yeah.
Could you tell us more about these awards, Nico?
Yeah, so I will just love to add one more. Just
Okay.
recent this year, I won an award in
Wow.
Ford Mobility Program in the U.S.
Okay.
I'm one of the Filipino founders and one of the Filipino startups that actually got a grant and won in the program of the Ford Mobility Program. So just a little bit of background. Before I dive into the food industry or build a company in the food industry, I was already a tech. I already had a tech company.
Oh, you do.
So I'm more
Okay.
of a developer and the tech guy. So I launched companies that's basically focused on the technology and simplifying the logistics capability in the Philippines, knowing how fragmented the ecosystem of logistics in the Philippines. So that's how I've started. But because also I have a background for food and culinary,
Yeah.
that's something that on my free time I would try to create some sort of business out of my love for food. But the background of how I won into the Mass Challenge Israel, it was during the pandemic where I freshly stepped out of my role in Uber, and I really wanted to do something in the Philippines. And at the time when I came back, what I wanted to solve at that time was to help out the commuters in the Metro Manila that is out in their commuting in the commuting process, because I've seen a lot of time being wasted just to find rides. So the idea of the technology I developed at the time was to aggregate all of the public vehicles and also the private vehicles into one platform, so it's easier for people to find their commute best, whether it's based on their budget or based on their time and availability. However, pandemic really stopped us and challenged us to close down that company. But because I've seen also the other side of the problem, which in the logistics. So I kind of did the same thing. So that's the company I applied for in Israel. So it was a global competition where a lot of startups all over the world came together and compete in Israel. And I was the only Filipino who got accepted into the program. And I was the only Filipino who actually won in the program. And it made me proud also of my roots that, that Israel being a tech hub of the globe, and here we are, there's a young Filipino trying to break in the logistics industry and in the tech industry. So it was one of my proudest moments. when they called my name and they called my startup, like, hey, you've won. And I kid you not, after I received the award, I stepped out of the convention and I was just crying.
Wow.
Well, in a way, I was just crying. It's because I've seen the potential of the company that I was building, and so it's proven our capability of building something that can be global. They can be at par with the global startups and the global tech. So after that, I went back to the Philippines. Was really trying to innovate in the logistics industry. Was trying to really further our operation in the Philippines, and that also made us able to amplify our impact and our growth in the Philippines. So we're able to operate on a nationwide capacity. And then a foundation and the program in Europe was able to discover us. And it's because we were a partner, or the International Trade Center in the Philippines was also supporting us in our operation. They recommended us apply for the program in Berlin, which is the Westerville Foundation for the Young Founders Program. So they are catering to the startup founders coming from the emerging markets and the global South. So there are founders from Africa, there are founders from Latin America, and there are founders from Asia. And I think, because also what we've done in the tech industry, in the logistics, that made us really stand out also in the competition. So when they announced the winner, they were able to announce my name and then my startup, and then that's also how they asked me to fly to Europe so I could raise fund for so they could introduce me to the network in the European market, and also they were able to arrange meetings for me. To meet up with the investors, but also we're not just really trying to end there. I always wanted to go back to my roots. I always wanted to go back to the Philippines and bring that impact and the knowledge I've learned from the European market and bring that back to the Philippines. So that's also when we were really growing our operation, I was able to learn how to capitalize on the technology and the existing resources. So after we won in the Westerville Foundation, I was able to find another strategy on how to grow our operation. So that's also when we've launched our air cargo services, where you can now deliver in less than 24 hours from Manila to Mindanao.
Wow.
The same day delivery.
So aside from the Spreadily Spreads, you have other companies?
That's my main thing. Spreadily Spreads is just my love for food, and my love for nostalgia and for my mom's recipe. But my main thing really is the tech, and I really wanted to create such impact in the logistics industry.
What's the name of your logistics?
So the logistics company, the company that operates now is the Deliver Ease, which is basically Deliver Ease. Doing your delivery with ease.
Wow.
That's basically the whole concept. And because also of the program this year that we won in Ford Mobility Program, we were able to get more grant and more funding from them.
Congratulations.
Which also enable us to open another services in deliveries, where we are now helping small businesses to really grow their revenue online. So recently we have opened the e-commerce division of deliveries, which we call now Flexa Technologies, which basically, if you have a small brand and you wanted to grow that in TikTok and in Shopee and Lazada, our team can curate a solution for you, and we'll provide you a platform where we'll be able to sell that for you. So we take care of the logistics, we take care of the fulfillment. You just take care you just have to make sure that you have stocks available, whether you need also warehousing or live hostings. Like if you want people to sell on your behalf, on your brand, that's something we can curate with the added services that we have now in deliveries.
Is this a subscription or customized kind of service?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we have a subscription depending on the need of our clients, but we have also a customized version where, Nico, we want the entire fulfillment system to be now under deliveries. So we will curate that for you depending on the resources that will be putting into your business. So so in a way it's like we become the arm for small businesses in terms of growing digitally. So utilizing the benefit of TikTok Shop and also the Shopee Live and Lazada Live. Kid you not, one of our clients that just started with us a couple of weeks ago, we've run campaigns with them, and now we were able to produce about 2.8 million pesos sales for just 2 weeks.
Oh my God, we should really connect this guy. Do you have any questions for Nico? Or Sanju?
I'm amazed. May I, ano ba? Calling card?
Yeah. You're very young and you're such an inspiration. I believe Press Andrew here has some questions for you. Kasi you have a kid also is into business, right? Into craft beers.
Everybody likes to get into business.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah. And I think when you talk to the students here, most of them, when I ask them, also, what are you looking at after X number of years? I mean, eventually to have my own business. No matter what course they're taking, it's always to have my own business. And you're saying you've done that.
Yes, sir. So just a little bit of background of myself. I actually did not finish computer science during my college days.
Okay.
I've studied culinary. It's because that was my fast ticket out of my hometown. So.
And you are from?
I was from Masbate.
Masbate. So your mom is a Filipina?
My mom's Filipina.
And your dad
and my dad is half Italian and half Filipino.
Okay.
However, I grew up in a province where there's not a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
And the best and the fastest ticket for me was to get into culinary. So the school that I was studying could endorse me to their partner in Dubai. So that was my whole journey. I was supposed to go to Dubai because I graduated as the top of the class.
Wow.
So I have a fast track ticket to employment.
Nice.
Because of that status. However, I was too young when I finished the program, so the employer declined my application.
Really?
It was my first heartbreak. I got rejected because I was so young.
Young, like what age?
I had a final interview with my employer. 2 days prior to the interview, I just turned 18.
Oh.
So it was September.
That's young.
It's too bad.
But because also I don't want to go back to the hometown because I know there's not a lot of opportunity for me there. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna find a job here. So I made a deal with my grandpa because my grandpa wanted me to go back to Masbate, so he could send me to take education because the background of the family, the profession of the family was in the education. They've been teachers, they've been educators their whole life. The whole clan are probably 90% of the clan are probably in the educational system. But because also I don't want to teach kids, and I don't have patience for teaching people. So I just want to do things on my own. So I made a deal with grandpa. Like said, give me 2 more months here in Manila. I'll find a way to find a job, or if not, I'm gonna go back to Masbate and do the deal with you. So I was so desperate of having a job, I even applied to become a dishwasher of a food chain.
Ooh.
But the food chain was telling me you're overqualified to be just washing dishes. That was also another thing for me. Do you need a qualification to just wash dishes? I can do it. I just need a job, so I could prove to grandpa I can get a job here.
Okay.
But really unfortunate. But I think it was also a blessing in disguise. I was able to find a job which was very, very out of my course. I ended up working for a fashion industry in their warehouse.
Fashion industry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I wasn't in the front line. I was at the back. I was working at the warehouse, and because of my boss. Was telling me you don't fit here in the warehouse. I don't know why you took the job in the warehouse. I was like, but I need a job because I could prove to my grandpa that I don't have to go back to Masbate, and you know, and become a teacher. I have so much respect for teachers and educators. I believe you know they really train people to be the next leader of the generation. But my heart wasn't there. So I ended up being promoted to another in the operations and in the sales of the same company, and then that's also I've seen an opportunity to go back to school. So my parents and my family don't want to support me in a way that I've told them that I'm gonna take psychology.
Oh, okay. Actually, he's a psychologist.
I know, I've heard it earlier. So, so I decided to become a working student. And then at the time also, the family has having a financial crisis. So I took the opportunity of being a breadwinner for everybody. Sending myself to school, studying in the morning, and then in the middle of the day, I would report to my work. Eventually, I needed to have a job that's not interfering with my study. So I decided to become a call center agent. That's when eBay hired me to be based in their Manila office.
Oh, okay. And which company was that?
eBay.
eBay itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so that's how I started my career in the BPO industry. The pay was really good.
Yep.
So I was able to afford to really send myself to school in the morning, and then at night I would just go report to the office and work my ass off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is a children's song.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But then the love for technology was actually happened during the time with eBay. I've realized how technology was changing the world at the time, and how eBay impacted the lives of small sellers. Like anyone can just go online and sell something, and they can make money out of it.
Right.
That's also when I've really. That's how my love for technology started, and then it came to a point where my workmates at eBay wanted to launch a company in the e-commerce. So none of us had no idea how to develop a website. None of us had an idea how to create even a simple website. So I took it upon myself to start learning from Google and YouTube how to develop a very simple e-commerce platform, and that actually became my origin story of how I learned how to code and program for a very simple website.
That's really a very good story.
It was a weekend project for me, but it became a business for me. Unfortunately, I was very young. I had no understanding of the operation. Like I simply launched myself, into the idea that I love. But to be honest, like I had no idea 100% of how to really do it. So I made mistakes. I partnered the wrong people. I lost my savings. My life savings was gone. I had no stocks coming from. So just to give a background, we were trying to sell vintage football shirts that we have acquired all over the world, but we are being replicated. We replicate those old shirts in the Philippines. I made our own partners. The vendor did not do the end of the bargain. They simply vanished after I paid them.
Wow, that's too bad.
So my friend actually already hated me for it because I was the one who made a contract, or at least, actually the lack of contract, because I simply trusted people, that they're gonna produce what we've paid them.
Yeah.
So it was. So I went back to working. I got promoted in the job. Then I got hired by a company in New York to become their director. So I became one of the youngest director in the company. But then also I've realized how much I've helped a lot of multinational companies to really grow and optimize their operation. So that's when I've made a decision. Like, you know what? Maybe it's about time for me to start looking for opportunity in the Philippines and find something else that I can do in my own community.
Right.
So I went back and that's how I've started also build something that could matter to the community. It was a hit and miss. I can tell you right now that the viewers that I had a lot of mistakes. The only thing that I had was really grit and determination and wanted to change the situation that I've been in.
Yeah.
Like even though you've been given a lot of bad cards at the beginning, it doesn't mean that you'll always end up with a bad card. You have to do something about it for you to change your opportunity, even though you don't have a lot of resources or network. Because I started from nothing. I don't have a lot of networks. I don't have a lot of people that can support me finance my business. It was me purely hustling, taking consulting jobs that I can get, so I could get paid outside my normal work, so I could just have a little bit of money that I can use to fund and start the business.
All right. Nico, we'll continue with this conversation some other time
Oh, yeah.
because there's
I'm
another
so
show
sorry.
at 3:30. But we love your story. The reason why we invited you because you're such an inspiration, a very young
you.
CEO, and hopefully next time we'll be able to continue your story and what you do presently. So just to end the show, would you like to give advice to everyone out there, especially to the students of Ateneo de Manila, to be someone like you, a young entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, I don't want to encourage you folks to be someone like me. I think everybody has their own potential and everybody has their own strength and own weaknesses. What's something I can, as my takeaway or as your takeaway from this is that learn to understand where your heart is and learn to understand where your passion is. Because eventually, when you try to do things out of your heart and out of your passion, things will fall into the right places. The right people will come and help you, and also, even if you face challenges and mistakes along your journey, that's absolutely okay. None of us had the perfect blueprint of a perfect life. So, but this is what I can tell you: the mistakes and the failures that you will encounter will eventually pivot you to the way where you should be and where your heart should be, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Nico Luciano. Thank you so much also, Sir Gary Faustino, and of course, Press Andrew.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Would you like to leave a message to everyone out there?
Well, I just like to echo that. You have two different guests from
Right.
two different generations,
Yep.
but no matter how far the
gap.
what they took, because he was into IT, then he went into
The food industry,
Si Gary
right.
was into industrial, then he went into counseling. I mean, they're both coming from a desire of wanting to help people,
Right.
and going with their passions, with what they feel they do best. So I
Yes.
think, and I reach out to a lot of the students that I've talked to here. You go with what you believe you want to do, to continue doing, and whatever your passion is, go for it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Press Andrew. Thank you once again for joining us today. We'll see you again next week for another edition of ASPACes, your voice, your space, your story. My name is DJ Gail, and of course, Press Andrew, Sir Gary, and Nico. We'd like to thank you all, and of course, see you next week. Love you all. God bless you. Bye.
They've been behind every exam week, every thesis defense, and every milestone along the way. As they grow into thinkers, leaders, and changemakers, we are right there with them, listening, learning, and leading. This is your space, your voice, your story, where parenthood, purpose, and community come together on air. This is ASPACes, Ateneo Parents in Action. Listen in. Laugh with us and journey alongside fellow Ateneo parents as we share stories of service, solidarity, and the magic in everyday parenting. ASPACes, your story, your voice, your space. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 86.